Hey guys, I know it's been a while, but I really had to make me a video on this because it was pure epicness. Seeing this firsthand, like, I was just in awe. If you are a wrestling fan, especially an AEW fan, you definitely don't want to miss this. So I present to you all my own full review of the latest AEW pay-per-view, Full Gear. So it's time to dive right into it. Welcome to... What the hell, man? You couldn't let me finish? I was just about done. You could have killed me just then. Anyways, welcome everybody. You have now entered the realm of IzzyLand. And for today's video, I wanted to discuss the latest AEW pay-per-view, Full Gear, which actually occurred this past Saturday at Daly's Place over in Jacksonville, Florida. And this show was just so epic that I had to do my own analysis of it, because it's just like there were so many great moments in there that I had to cover. For the opening match, we have the finals of the AEW World Championship Eliminator Tournament, featuring Hangman Adam Page and Kenny Omega. They even had Impact's very own Don Callis, who I believe he was the EIP or whatever, join the broadcast table along with JR Jim Ross, Excalibur, and Tony Schiavone. During the match, both Adam Page and Kenny Omega were going at it. And Page was really holding his own. He seemed very, very focused. And I believe even JR himself mentioned that he saw Page about 10 minutes ago, and he looked, in his words, a bit edgy. Well, JR, maybe it's because Page had a lot of Red Bulls instead of beers before the match. But continuing on. So throughout the match, these competitors, they really knew each other because they used to be tag team champions. You could definitely see it by how they counterattacked each other and how they could like foresee, their next move and stuff. So it was almost a draw. And I gotta say, Hangman Page really held his own. Unfortunately, he did come up short by the end, and it was Kenny Omega who won. Page tried to get out of the one-winged angel, and I mean he was leaning over, he was trying to to maneuver his way out of it. But the moment Kenny Omega, the moment he had that position set in, he dropped him down to the mat with authority, and it was over. There was no way out of it. But hey, kudos to Page for really putting it to Omega. But in the end, it was Kenny Omega who came out to be the victor, and is the #1 contender for the AEW World Championship. Right after, we have freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy facing John Force Silver of the Dark Order. I was very impressed by John Force Silver's strength. I also like this one counterattack move he made. I think it was like the DDT. He actually powerhoused his way out of it and then sent Orange Cassidy straight head first down to the mat with a brutal brainbuster. His movements were very similar to the Bastard Pac. Speaking of Pac, how about that promo he did a couple days ago on the previous episode of Dynamite?
7 months! 7 months!
You're absolutely right, Pac. It has been several months since you stepped into an AEW ring. You want to know what else the people have been waiting for in the past several months? Our damn stimulus checks. Right, Nancy?
Of the committees who wrote these bills.
I respect
and
all of you.
I wish you would respect the knowledge that goes into getting meeting the needs of the American people.
These are incredibly difficult times right now, and we'll leave it on that note. Thank you so much for joining
we'll
us.
leave it on the vote that you are not right on this, Wolf, and I hate to say that to you. But I feel confident about it, and I feel confident about my colleagues, and I feel confidence in my chairs.
It's not about me. It's about millions of Americans who can't put food on the table, who can't pay the rent.
And we represent them. And we represent them.
Yeah. Right. And Andrew Yang is a billionaire tech bro sexist. But we're kind of getting off on a tangent here, so let's continue. So back with the match between Orange Cassidy and John Silver. Yeah, I gotta say, Silver really took Cassidy to Suplex City. There were like various creative DDTs made by Cassidy. Then Silver decided to like showboat near the end, which kind of, you know, cost him. Cause then Cassidy ended up getting the W. But it was a great match. It was a great match. So third match of the night, and boy, I was so looking forward to this one. We had the TNT title championship match with the American Nightmare Cody.
Cody.
Oh, and I forgot to mention that it's been made official that Cody finally got the rights to his last name. So yeah, it was the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes against the unorthodox Darby Allin. And I gotta say, he definitely demonstrated in his entrance, like when he just shattered the window of his car with his skateboard, and he just walked on down it. It was pretty epic. Not to mention that he's hard to predict in the ring. Every time he fights the competitors, it's like he gets better, you know, over time. And he's just coming up with these different various creative methods that give him a win. Darby was definitely giving Cody a run for his money during the match. However, there were a lot of times when Cody outmuscled him and he was like throwing him around. It seemed like Darby was not gonna make it, especially after this super crossroads that Cody did from the top rope. The only thing that saved Darby Allin was his leg that was out of bounds. So the ref had to break up the 3 count because of that. So Darby was saved by the skin of his teeth due to that. And yet oh my goodness, like Darby actually pulled up an upset and he became our new TNT champion and the face of TNT. I mean, yeah, I am. That was epic. Yeah, this match was definitely, you know, A+ in my eyes. Now following that, we had the AEW Women's World Title with current champion Hikaru Shida going against the native beast Nyla Rose, along with her mentor Vicky Guerrero.
Excuse me?
I actually didn't really bother to watch this match because it kind of got pretty boring watching the same wrestlers go at it, and I kind of knew that, you know, Hikaru Shida was going to win, and she did, but there's nothing like really spectacular. The only female wrestler I could think of that really stands out to me is Chris Statlander, you know, who is like the and I think she's still stuck on Andromeda. I don't know when she's coming back, because I mean I think she's pretty talented, and you know, even Penelope Ford, you know, to some extent. But it's like, yeah, I just got tired of seeing the same old competitors. Like, you know, we need better variety and, you know, much better matches. I mean, I hope Riho also comes back. She was pretty interesting. She reminds me a little bit of Kairi Sane. Kenny, if you decide to watch this, focus more on because I know you're in control of the women's division, so focus more on trying to better the women's division, making sure they put on some very great matches, even during these times, because I know like COVID has prevented some competitors from coming over to the States and performing. But you gotta somehow make it work. You gotta, you know, you can't just put all your attention onto, you know, because I know like you're also working on like video games for probably the upcoming video game for, you know, for the company AEW. Probably gonna be called AEW Dynamite or whatever. Like you'll get more news on that. I believe this coming week. But yeah, it's like you gotta work on that women's division, man. It's pretty lackluster. Fifth match of the night, we have the AEW Tag Team Championship match with the current champions FTR, Cash Wheeler, Dax Harwood versus the Young Bucks, Nick and Matt Jackson. Now again, I didn't watch this either because it's like, again, I was like, I'm so sick of watching the same old competitors go against each other in the ring. And yeah, I'm not much of a fan for the Young Bucks. It's just, I think they are pretty overrated. They're them flipping back and forth between heels and face, and like within a week's time, or a couple weeks time. That didn't make any sense. You kind of know how this match was. There was a lot of flips, there was a lot of you know, spots, and FTR, they were being hard hitters. But then, like, I believe it was Cash Wheeler who decided to do a 450 splash off of the top rope by the end, and that's what messed him up. And then, you know, and it was the Bucks, the Young Bucks, who became the new champions. So there's that. And the match after that, we have the Elite Deletion with Matt Hardy, Broken Matt Hardy, versus the Spanish guy Sammy Guevara at the Hardy compound. It was interesting. Sammy Guevara is like, he's an interesting character. I mean, yeah, so is Matt Hardy, but it's like when he does a lot of suicide dives or flips and all this other stuff, he doesn't seem very effective. It's like he's injury proof or something. And even so, like in a very rough setting at like the Hardy compound, he still was able to display a sort of athleticism. But then they had very unique guests come on, you know, Santana and Ortiz intervene, and then Private Party. But then you had freaking Gangrel. Now that's going to take us back. Gangrel, who used to be in WWE and is now like or WWF at the time. I think he mentored like Edge and Christian back in the day, and he likes to, you know, drink blood and spit it out or whatever. You know, another one of those edgy people. Thinks he's a vampire. He made an appearance along with Gregory Helms, Hurricane Helms, and then he got what dunked into the lake of reincarnation, and then Hurricane Helms turned into like this commentator, reporter, whatever, and then back into Hurricane Helms when he got you know, by Sammy Guevara. And then like at the end, like it was bloody. First it was Sammy Guevara coming, you know, jumping off of the ladder in the ring, like in the garage, onto Matt Hardy, you know, on a table. And then Matt Hardy actually speared Sammy Guevara while he was like on the outside rope, and threw a table on the outside, and his head actually hit the concrete floor, and it looked like he was bleeding out of his head. And it's just it was like, and then Matt Hardy just threw him in the in the trash can, like like he was garbage or whatever, and then put Sammy in in a pickup truck or whatever and took him away. I have mixed feelings about it, because it's like I have different preferences, but it was still a pretty good match. So the next match is the Demo God, Chris Jericho, versus MJF, Maxwell Jacob Friedman. And the stipulation is, you know, if MJF wins, he's allowed to join the Inner Circle. So in the ring, they're going at it back and forth. MJF like even one time blocked the Chris Jericho's Judas effect. I think he tried to like snap his elbow or, you know, mess with his arm or something. Really trying to get him ready for that Salt of the Earth, that arm bar. The one that really got me in the match was by the end, where MJF pretty much pulled an Eddie Guerrero. Wardlow, he tried to like throw he threw like the ring that MJF has, the class ring or whatever, used as a weapon. And then, you know, but he failed at that. And then it was Jake Hager who threw the bat over threw over Chris Jericho's signature bat to him. And then when Jericho was about to hit MJF actually laid on the mat like classic Eddie Guerrero, you know, making it seem as if like he got hit with the bat and that's why he's out. And then when Chris Jericho's arguing with the ref, then MJF pinned him, you know, with a quick roll up, and he got the win. I mean, that was that was pretty clever. I'll admit. Even though I'm not a fan of MJF, it's just, yeah, okay. I'll give him credit for that. That was impressive. But yeah, he got the win, and he's now the newest member of the Inner Circle. And now, everyone, we have the final match of the night. Main event, an I Quit match for the AEW World Championship between the current champion Jon Moxley versus Eddie Kingston. There were some pretty impressive moments during that match. Like, for instance, there were parts where there was grappling and suplexes involved. I mean, considering how extremely hardcore these two guys are, to see like these MMA or classic wrestling style techniques, it's quite amazing. I think that's what made it stand out. What made this match stand out a bit. But it was Jon Moxley who won, who made Eddie Kingston finally say, you know, the words "I quit." He actually wrapped his arm with parts of his barbed wire bat, and he was like wrenching on Eddie Kingston's back, and like, you know, he had it all pressed against his neck or whatever. He even like during the match, he even hit Eddie with his bat, you know, like in the stomach or whatever, and he was coughing up blood. It looked pretty serious. But yeah, I will say that this match was pretty solid. It was very surprising by how technical they were being in the ring during all that chaos. So kudos to both guys. Overall, I definitely liked the pay-per-view. I definitely liked the match cards. I mean, some of them were not as impressive, but others they knocked it out of the park. I mean, I just like, there were times where I was at the edge of my seat, especially during the match between, you know, the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes and Darby Allin. Then again, I am a bit biased because Darby Allin is one of my favorite wrestlers in the company, so that's the one I was looking forward to the most. But yeah, I liked, you know, I liked the, you know, I thought the entire show was very entertaining, and wasn't really a sleeper at all. So I mean, I hope they keep this up. I'm looking forward to what will happen during this coming week's episode of AEW Dynamite. That's it for today's video. Make sure you subscribe to my channel, like this video, hit that notification button to stay up to date with various other content that I put out, and stay tuned for more awesome videos. Until then, I'll see you all again on the next. Don't even think about it. Let's just go on with the ending.